Okay, so we've all had that wow moment with large language models, right? But what happens next? After the magic trick, how do you actually build a real product that doesn't crash or just plain frustrate your users? Today, we're going to break down the three critical pillars of LLM performance, the things that separate the cool demos from the real-world successes.
And this quote right here, it just nails the problem. You know that seamless chat you just had with an AI? That wasn't some simple little API call. Nope. It was a super heavy, expensive, and honestly pretty unpredictable process under the hood. Treating an LLM like a regular old web service is probably the first mistake people make, and it's a big reason why so many cool AI features just fizzle out in the real world.
So that really leads us to the big question. For anyone building with this technology, when it's time to actually launch, how do you take this amazing, almost magical tool and turn it into something that's not just clever, but also stable, scalable, and something your users can actually depend on?
Well, the answer lies in a pretty simple but incredibly powerful framework. To build LLM apps that really last, you need to master what we're calling the three performance pillars.
This is it. This is the framework that changes the game. It takes this huge, scary challenge of making AI work and breaks it down into three pieces you can actually manage. First, you've got latency. Basically, how fast is it? Then there's throughput. How many people can use it at the same time? And finally, quality. Are the answers it's giving actually any good? It looks simple, but getting this balance right, that's the secret sauce. Because if one of these pillars gets wobbly, the whole thing can come crashing down.
All right, let's dive into that first pillar, latency. And this one, it's the silent killer of user experience. I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter how brilliant the model's response is. If your user has to stare at a loading spinner for 10 seconds, they're probably just going to leave.
Now here's a super common trap, only looking at the average speed. On the left, that's your P50 or your median user. For them, things are great. But on the right, that's your P99 user. That's the person who got that one painfully slow response. And guess what? They're the one who's going to remember it. They're the one who's going to tweet about how slow your app is. You have to solve for that worst-case experience, not just the typical one.
The good news is you've got a whole toolkit to fight back against latency. The easiest trick in the book? Just use a smaller, faster model. It makes a huge difference. Then there's streaming, where the answer appears word by word. It feels instant to the user. You can also get under the hood with optimized frameworks to speed up the raw computation. And finally, there's KV caching, which is kind of like giving the model a short-term memory to speed up conversations. Each one of these can shave off critical time.
Okay, on to our second pillar, throughput. So, if latency is all about how fast one person gets an answer, throughput is about how many people can get an answer at the same time. This is the engine that lets your app actually scale.
We measure this in requests per second, or RPS, for any app that's going to face a lot of users. Think a customer service chatbot or a search engine. Low throughput means people are going to get stuck in a line, just waiting. It's basically a digital traffic jam, and nobody likes being stuck in traffic.
And just like with latency, we have a bunch of powerful tools here. Batching is a huge one. It's about grouping requests together to process them more efficiently. Load balancing spreads out the work so no one part of your system gets totally slammed. And auto-scaling is absolutely essential. It's like a grocery store automatically opening more checkout lanes the second a rush starts. It makes sure no one has to wait.
All right, now for our third and final pillar. And honestly, this is the big one. This is quality. Because your system can be lightning fast, it can handle 1 million users a second, but if the answers it gives are wrong, or weird, or unsafe, then none of that other stuff matters. Quality is all about building trust.
So what does quality even mean? Because it's not just one thing. It's about asking a bunch of questions. Is the answer relevant to what I asked? Is it factual, or is the model just making stuff up, what we call hallucinating? Is it actually helpful? And maybe most importantly, is it safe and compliant? You have to be able to say yes to all of these to really build that trust with your users.
So how in the world do you measure something so complicated? Well, one of the most direct ways is to capture structured feedback right from your users. You can see an example here, a simple system that lets users rate a response, flag an issue like a hallucination. This gives you an unbelievably valuable signal you can use to track and improve your quality over time.
Okay. So we've got our three pillars, but here's where the real art and science of this whole thing comes in. You can't just optimize for one of them and ignore the others. It is a constant, delicate balancing act.
The absolute best way to think about this is like a health dashboard for your application.
You've got these three main dials: latency, throughput, and quality. And here's the tricky part. When you turn one dial up, another one often goes down. For instance, if you swap in a massive, super smart model to boost your quality, you can bet your latency dial is going to swing deep into the red. The goal isn't to max out any single dial. It's to keep all three of them in that healthy green zone. So, how do you manage this balancing act without going crazy? You have to define what good actually looks like. That's where service-level objectives, or SLOs, come into play. Instead of some vague goal like the app should be fast, you set a hard, concrete target, just like you see here. Our 95th percentile latency must be under 2 seconds. Or maybe our average user rating has to stay above 4.2 out of 5. These aren't just numbers on a chart, they're promises to your users. They get your whole team focused on what really matters. And this quote, it just wraps everything up so perfectly. Building a fantastic AI product isn't just about finding the smartest model out there. It's about having the engineering discipline to deliver that intelligence with speed, with stability, and at scale.
And what's the big payoff for all this hard work? Why does this matter so much? Well, when you master these pillars, you start turning that cool demo into a real business. You'll catch problems before your users ever see them. You'll get your cloud costs under control. You'll have actual data to prove that your product is getting better. And maybe the best part? You'll be able to ship new features with total confidence because you know you've built everything on a rock-solid foundation.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Think about your own projects, or even the AI tools you use every single day. Are they just built to be smart? Or are they engineered for speed, for scale, and for trust? In other words, are they actually built to last?